Now, the greatest radio shows of all time.
Suspense.
The Shadow Node.
Washington calling David Harding, Counter-Spy.
Classic radio theater.
The Great Gildersleeve. Fibber McGee and Molly.
Dragnet. Gunsmoke.
The Lone Ranger.
Now, step back into our time machine with your host, Wyatt Cox.
Good evening, friends of the Inner Sanctum.
The 1947 summer replacement for Fibber McGee and Molly, Call the Police. This was originally broadcast June 10th, 1947, and it's the case of the kidnapped killer.
Rinso presents Call the Police.
Attention, homicide section, flying squad detail. Murder suspect in your zone. Close in according to instructions.
Between you and the evil outside the law, between you and the housebreaker, the kidnapper, the murderer, stands the policeman of your community. He gives up his sleep that you may sleep unafraid. He gives up his safety that you may be safe. And if need be, he gives up his life to protect yours.
The Lever Brothers Company, makers of Triple Action Rinso, bring you Call the Police, starring Joseph Julian and Joan Tompkins. This new series of realistic radio dramas is inspired by the courageous work of police departments all over America.
This is Commissioner Bill Grant. Every now and then a case comes along that makes me realize that the best way to outsmart a smart criminal is to let him outsmart himself. The case in point is number 96-42 in the Ashland police files. You might say that it really began the night Kid Coombs knocked out Felipe Gomez in the third round at the Arena Gardens. But the real trouble didn't get underway until next morning, when Linda Lee, hard, blonde, and expensive, walked into the office of Coombs' manager, a tough tin horn by the name of Maury Fenton.
My name's Linda Lee, Mr. Fenton.
What about it?
Your boy knocked out Felipe Gomez in the third at the arena last night.
So where do you come in?
I'm Gomez's girl.
Oh. Too bad Gomez went down so early, huh?
He didn't mind too much.
No? Why not?
He got $1,500 for taking that dive.
Is that so? Who gave it to him?
You did, Mr. Fenton.
If you're hungry for trouble, Miss Lee, you came to the right place.
Sit still, Mr. Fenton. I don't care if Gomez wants to take it on the chin. It's his chin. I just don't think $1,500 was enough money for the act.
Somebody wants to know what you think. I deal with Gomez.
You'll deal with me. Gomez is an easy make.
And you're a tough tomatoes, ain't it?
Not as tough as some people. Not as tough, for instance, as Vic Barstow.
Vic Barstow?
Oh, you know the name, huh? You cost Vic Barstow $20,000 last night, Mr. Fenton.
Me?
Barstow had $20,000 on Gomez to win by a knockout. Do you know anything about Barstow, Mr. Fenton?
Enough.
He might resent it if he knew you paid Gomez to take a dive.
But he ain't gonna know, Miss Lee.
Certainly not. If you lay $5,000 on the line for me and Gomez.
Somebody is whistling through their teeth.
Well, if you won't listen to reason.
Where you gone?
Give Vic Barstow a ring.
Miss Lee.
Yeah?
The weatherman says tomorrow's gonna be a nice day. I'd hate to see you and Gomez miss it.
It was an ugly deal from the word go, and it got steadily worse. Half an hour later, Vic Barstow was sitting in his penthouse suite in the Bancroft Plaza, having a few words with his wife.
What are you going to do, Vic? Eat your heart out? You lost the $20,000. Have a drink and forget it.
I don't like to lose, Lil. And I don't think I would have if it hadn't been for your little friend Gomez. He told me he was set to win that fight last night.
Anybody can guess wrong, Vic. Anyhow, he phoned all day yesterday while I was out. Maybe he was calling to get you to cancel your bet.
Maybe he was calling about something else.
What do you mean?
You know what I mean.
Oh, Vic, please, don't be ridiculous. There's nothing between me and Gomez.
I'll get it. Hello? Barstow speaking.
How would you like to know the name of the man who paid Gomez to lay down in the fight last night, Mr. Barstow?
What? Say, who is this?
My name's Linda Lee. Would $5,000 be too much for a signed statement that it was a tin horn named Maury Fenton who paid Gomez to take a dive?
Are you trying to pull a gag on me?
Gomez has a furnished room at 122 Myrtle Street. Be there at 8 o'clock tonight with $5,000 in cash. And the gag will be on Fenton.
Shortly before 9, as I got the story later, Linda Lee went up to Gomez's room on Myrtle Street and laid out the deal. And Gomez was petrified.
You out of your mind, Linda? Fenton will knock us both off for a cross like this.
Fenton's got to find us first. In 30 minutes, we'll be out of town with 5,000 brand new bucks. Come on, Felipe, be a smart boy. Sign this paper for Barstow. He'll be here in a few seconds.
Forget it.
You won't do it?
Not for a million.
Why, you yellow punch.
Take it easy, you crazy bimbo. I'll tell you about my deal with Fenton for you to go around shooting your mouth.
Who cares why you told me? You told me. If you won't come along for the ride, I'll do business with Barstow on my own.
You think you will.
What's going to stop me? You hit me again, you lousy pug.
All right.
Gomez went down fast for that long count, the one that never ends. What happened in that room for the next 5 minutes was anybody's guess. And then there was a knock on the door, and in walked Barstow.
Gomez.
Take it easy, Mr. Barstow. We don't need the cops in here right away.
You shot him?
Don't be silly. Shots came from that open window there.
Is that so?
Yeah, there's a fire escape just outside.
Do you have any idea who it was killed him?
Not exactly, Mr. Barstow, but Maury Fenton said tonight he was going to. And I'm the little girl that heard him say it.
I didn't hear anything about the case until the next day. I got to headquarters late. As I walked into my office, who was sitting behind my desk with his feet up but my ever-loving sidekick, Sergeant Maggio.
Ah, good morning, Commissioner.
Don't let me disturb you, Maggio.
Oh, that's okay. I was just sitting here figuring what it must be like to be a police commissioner.
You don't have to figure, I'll tell you.
Yeah?
You remember one night out in the Pacific, we hit mortar fire, overhead bombing, and Jap guerrilla action all at once?
Sure, I remember that time.
Compared to this, that was duck soup.
Oh, what's happened now?
Oh, spent the morning with His Honor, the mayor.
He had a beef?
Did he ever not have a beef?
What's today's special?
Fight racket in this city. He's getting complaints from everything from the Ladies' Aid Society to the Boxing Commission.
Oh, then maybe you'll want to see her.
Maybe I'll want to see who?
The blonde who's in the waiting room?
What blonde?
Name's Lee. Linda Lee.
What would I want to see her for?
She's Felipe Gomez's girlfriend, Commissioner.
Gomez? He's one of the fighters the mayor's got his eye on. Tell her to come in, Maggio.
Okay. Commissioner wants to see you, Miss Lee.
I want to see him. Mr. Grant?
Sergeant Maggio tells me you're on close terms with Felipe Gomez, Miss Lee.
I was.
You're not anymore?
Well, it's hard to be on close terms with a dead man.
What's that?
Gomez was murdered.
When?
I don't know. I just found out about it a few minutes ago when I walked into his room.
But you were just out there, sitting, calmly wasting
I
time.
told that goon I wanted to see you.
Goon? Hey, now,
Take
wait
it
a
easy,
second.
Maggio.
Both of you take it easy. This job's going to be a snap.
What do you mean?
You know a fight manager named Maury Fenton?
Yes, the mayor's been telling me about him.
He's your boy.
Maury Fenton killed Gomez?
Yeah, he even told me he was going to.
Why?
He bribed Gomez to throw the fight last night. He was afraid Gomez was going to talk.
You'll say that in court?
That and some more.
Maggio,
Yeah, Commissioner?
get out of here and pick up Maury Fenton.
Okay.
He'll probably be up to his neck in alibis, but bring him in anyhow and hold him for questioning.
Trust me, Commissioner.
Now then, Miss Lee, Where's the body?
In a furnished room at 122 Myrtle Street.
Is that where Gomez lives?
Yeah, second floor rear.
Good morning, Bill.
Oh, hello, Libby.
Bill, Oh, busy?
Right now, it's murder.
Literally?
I'm afraid so. I'm driving over in a squad car to take a look at the scene of the crime.
Those squad cars are built for two, you know, Bill.
Sure. You're a member of the police department. Come on along. Oh, Miss Lee.
Yeah?
Stick around town for a while. We may want to talk to you some more.
June 10th, 1947, Call the Police in the Case of the Kidnapped Killer here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. You're listening to Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Now more of Call the Police, June 10th, 1947, the Case of the Kidnapped Killer.
When Linda Lee walked into headquarters and announced that she found Felipe Gomez, the fighter, dead, Libby Tyler and I took a squad car over to Gomez's room. Doc Perkins, a couple of the boys from the fingerprint department, and a photographer gave the place the works. But when they'd left, I found they'd overlooked something.
What have you got there, Bill?
Something that ought to interest you, Libby. I found it jammed behind this mirror.
A woman's hat. Very smart.
Probably belongs to Linda Lee.
I don't think so, Bill.
She was Gomez's girl.
Yeah, I know she was, but I saw Linda Lee, and she doesn't have this kind of taste.
No?
No. This is a subdued, conservative little hat. It doesn't fit at all with the apparent exhibitionism of her nature.
Psychology department at work, huh?
After all, it's what I get paid for, Bill. Now, a hat like this is a very exclusive model. It's very likely the only one of its kind. Parisian.
Mm-hmm.
Probably made by... Oh, here we are.
What is it?
There's a tag inside, made by the Madame shop for Mrs. Victor Barstow.
Vic Barstow. That was a name everybody knew who had ever been close to the fight racket in this town. Mrs. Barstow's hat in Gomez's room meant only one thing to me. She had found out that Felipe Gomez was young and dark and handsome. I told Libby I'd meet her back at headquarters, and I took a walk over to Barstow's suite in the Bancroft Plaza. When I showed Barstow the hat, he took it slow and easy, like a man who's learned that romance is no bargain.
My wife isn't in right now, Commissioner. She's out shopping.
For a new hat?
Could be.
You don't happen to know where she was last night, about 8 o'clock, do you?
No, why?
I'd just like to be sure she wasn't at Gomez's place, that's all.
You can be sure.
How would you know?
Because I was at Gomez's place.
What?
Well, didn't Linda Lee tell you?
No. She said she walked in and found the body this morning.
Oh, I see.
Come on, what's the story?
All right, Grant, I'll tell you. Miss Lee phoned me here yesterday and told me to be at Gomez's place at 8 o'clock sharp.
So?
When I walked in, Gomez was on the floor, full of bullets. And Miss Lee was standing over him.
Linda Lee, huh?
Yes.
I had an idea I was going to want to talk to her some more.
Yes, Commissioner?
Did you pick up Maury Fenton, Maggio?
Yeah, but I'm having trouble holding him.
Alibi?
Just like you said.
A good one?
The best. He was out of town last night.
Well, don't worry about it.
No?
No, I want you to get hold of Linda Lee and work fast. Send a couple of boys over to her hotel.
Check.
Give them 10 minutes to report back.
Check.
If she's not in her room, send out a general alarm.
You want her bad, don't you?
Check.
You think she's left town, Bill?
She would if she knew what I had on my mind, Libby.
You think she killed Gomez?
Right now, she's Exhibit A.
With a motive?
What's the matter with jealousy for a motive? Linda Lee was Gomez's girl, but he was also more than friends with Mrs. Barstow.
Yes.
Isn't that enough for a woman to commit murder?
Well, a jealousy motive is all right if she has a mercurially adjusted personality.
You don't say.
But a practical girl like Linda Lee's a totally objective expert.
Spare me the analysis of the criminology department, Libby. All I want to do is to locate Miss Lee. Yes?
Commissioner Grant?
Yes?
Linda Lee.
It's the objective extrovert herself, Libby. Glad to hear your voice, Miss Lee.
Why?
I've got men out looking for you.
For what?
I talked to Vic Barstow, and he says you didn't find Gomez's body this morning.
Didn't I?
No, you were in Gomez's room when he was shot around 8 o'clock last night.
Commissioner, I'm going to hold an auction.
An auction?
You heard me.
What's going on the block?
The name of Felipe Gomez murderer.
Oh, I see.
You'll want to be in on it, won't you?
The police don't buy information, Miss Lee.
You want to bid or don't you?
What time?
6 o'clock.
Okay.
You'll be here?
You'll tell me where to be.
I'm at... Look!
Miss Lee. Miss Lee.
What happened?
Miss Lee, where are you?
I'm...
I sat there yelling her name into the phone. And then I heard the receiver being placed back on the hook at the other end. And I sat there with a dead telephone in my hand and the murderer grinning at me at the other end of the connection.
Calling me, Commissioner?
I just had a call from the Lee woman, Maggio.
Yeah, where is she?
I don't know, but wherever she is, she was just shot.
What do you know? Maybe it was that...
Trace that call and let me hear as soon as you know where it came from.
Well, you can't always trace a call, Commissioner.
Make this one of the times you can.
You see, Bill, the objective extrovert type rarely commits murder out of jealousy.
You mean you were right?
Oh, I didn't say that, Bill. I never say I told you so. But if Linda Lee is the murderer, then who fired those shots?
That is a big question.
When you're dealing with a jealousy motive, you see, you really ought to have a suspect who's a mercurially adjusted personality.
Mm-hmm. How do you know we haven't got one?
What?
What do we know about Mrs. Barstow? Why are we only thinking in one direction?
What do you mean?
Mrs. Barstow was going with Gomez just as much as Linda Lee was. Why couldn't she have been the one who got jealous and killed them both?
I don't know.
Neither do I. But I'm going to find out.
Where are you going?
Back to the Bancroft Plaza. I want to see how fast Mrs. Victor Barstow can talk. When I got to the Barstow suite in the Bancroft Plaza, I found Vic Barstow all alone.
What's on your mind this time, Commissioner?
Linda Lee has just been shot.
So?
I want to see your wife.
Why?
Because I think she may be the one who killed Linda Lee.
Forget it, Grant. You're in the wrong pew.
I don't think so.
I know so.
Is there an explanation that goes with this?
You bet there is.
Well?
What time was Linda Lee shot?
An hour and 20 minutes ago. What about it?
Only this, Grant. I talked to my wife over the phone an hour and a half ago.
Where was she?
At the Yacht Landing Club.
Alibi, huh?
I'm afraid so. Now, let's have a drink.
What's the number of the Yacht Landing Club?
I told you, Grant. You're way off the beam.
What's the number of the Yacht Landing Club?
Can't you take my word for it?
Nope.
Grant.
Okay, Barstow, I'll find it for myself. He gave me the number before I could look it up. But he was worried as I dialed it. He let his head fall into his hands as a foreign voice at the other end of the wire said,
Yacht Club, good afternoon.
This is Police Commissioner Grant.
Ah, yes, Commissioner.
I want to speak to Mrs. Victor Barstow.
Mrs. Barstow?
Yes.
Oh, but Mrs. Barstow is not here.
What time did she leave?
Leave?
Yes.
Oh, there must be some mistake, Commissioner. Mrs. Barstow has not been here at all today.
Lying to the police can be a very expensive habit, Mr. Barstow.
All right. Arrest me.
Why did you tell me a cockeyed story like that?
It was a chance, Commissioner. Just a chance.
Of all the spots to pick, the Yacht Landing Club.
I picked it because it's 40 miles outside of town.
What does that mean?
Well, you said Linda Lee was shot an hour and 20 minutes ago. I figured that if I said I talked to my wife an hour and a half ago at the club, it'd be a solid out for her. It would mean she couldn't have shot Miss Lee.
Why?
How could she get from the Yacht Landing Club to Gomez's rooming house in 10 minutes?
Oh. I see.
The truth is, I think she did kill them both. But I wanted to protect her. I love her, Grant. I can't help myself.
Now, just take it easy. But you need some fresh air. Come on, let's take a walk over to Gomez's place and have a look at Linda Lee's body. Barstow and I went up the stairs to the second floor. The door to Gomez's room was half open. I gave it a shove, And there was Linda Lee, on the floor, with 2 bullets in her, dead. The cops should be used to sights like that, but I guess I'm not.
Do they have to leave the body lying here like this, Grant?
That'll be tended to, Barstow.
How could Lil do this?
But you believe she did.
What choice have I got? Why, even the first time I asked her not to see Gomez, she was like a tiger.
She was really in love with him, huh?
She was infatuated with him.
June 10th, 1947, Call the Police on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. The conclusion follows these very important messages from your favorite station. Just going to take a minute here to tell you about the big savings going on now, the clearance sale at mypillow.com. And you know, I've talked about how in my office I have a pair of my slippers, and they're really comfortable, and they're on clearance right now. The mypillow.com slippers, $25 a pair, limit 10. And I would buy 3 or 4 more pairs. Unfortunately, they're out of my size. They also have sheets, pillowcases, clothing items, all on special right now. Go to mypillow.com, click on the clearance tab at the top of the page, use my promo code Wyatt, or call 1-800-928-4715. Limited sizes remaining in the MyPillow slippers, limited colors on other items. mypillow.com, clearance tab, promo code Wyatt, 1-800-928-4715. Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, an episode of Speed Gibson of the International Secret Police coming up. But first, the conclusion of Call the Police, June 10th, 1947.
She went for him because he was slick and dark.
Well, the honeymoon's over now. Gomez is dead, and your wife is up for murder.
Well, you could say they both got what they deserved, huh?
You could, if you were a stickler for justice.
Hey, listen. Somebody's coming.
High heels.
Do you suppose it could be?
Come in, Mrs. Barstow.
What's happening here?
We've just been talking about you.
Victor, what are you doing here?
Take a look on the floor.
Who is it?
Linda Lee.
Your friend Gomez's girl.
Who killed her?
Didn't you?
Me.
Because she was Gomez's girlfriend? Because you were jealous?
No.
The same way you killed Gomez.
That's a lie.
All right, Miss Barstow, if that's a lie, what are you doing here?
Linda Lee phoned me this afternoon and said for me to be here at 6, Commissioner.
Yes?
Yes. She said something about holding an auction.
An auction?
I know it sounds strange, but it's true. I went by Commissioner Grant's office and told Sergeant Maggio the whole story just before I came over here.
You can tell a police sergeant anything you dream up, Lil.
You've got to believe me.
But we don't.
Speak for yourself, Barstow.
What?
I believe her. I got the same phone call from Miss Lee. She was going to try to sell the name of Gomez murderer.
Gomez murderer?
Interesting, huh, Barstow? Which reminds me, I've got to call headquarters.
Headquarters?
Yes, I have to tell them where they can find Linda Lee's body.
What?
I know it comes as a shock to you, Barstow, but nobody had any idea where Linda's body was until you told me a few minutes ago at your hotel.
What are you talking about?
You said you picked the Yacht Landing Club because it would be impossible to get from there to Gomez Place in 10 minutes. You see, you slipped when you mentioned Gomez Place. Because you were the only person in the world who knew Linda had been shot in this room.
Now, wait a minute.
It was a simple mistake. You were sure somebody had heard those 2 shots when you killed Linda, and you took it for granted they'd sent for the police long ago. But unfortunately, Barstow, nobody did hear those shots, and therefore nobody called the police.
Put down that phone.
Victor.
Wait a minute now, Barstow.
Put it down. I don't like to lose, Commissioner. I killed Gomez because he was taking my wife away from me. And in my book, a man's got that right.
Has a man also the right to shoot Linda Lee? What was she taking away from you?
Linda Lee was here the night I shot Gomez from the fire escape. She saw me. She was going to help me throw the blame on Fenton for a price.
And then she made the price too high?
You guessed it. I wouldn't pay. And she was going to sell me out to the highest bidder.
So you shot her?
You can see for yourself.
Oh, Victor.
Don't give me that. What's here is on your head. You were my wife, Lil, and you were running around with Gomez.
You're not the first man who ever got the runaround, Barstow. Why didn't you bow out?
I told you. I don't like to lose. And I'm not going to let you two keep me from winning either.
It's going to take more than another murder to keep you from losing now.
Nobody else has anything on me, Commissioner, except you two. And without drawing any straws, you're first.
No.
Go ahead, yell. Only remember, nobody heard the shot the last time, and I don't think they'll hear these. So take a last look around, Commissioner. Because this is it.
Victor! Commissioner!
Maggio!
Are you hurt, Commissioner?
No, I'm okay.
Well, I gave Mrs. Barstow a trail after she left headquarters, and it looks like a good thing I did.
I always thought you were beautiful, Maggio, but believe me, you never looked lovelier. Dance, Libby?
Oh, I'd love to, Bill. But there's somebody coming over to our table.
Oh, Mrs. Barstow.
Grant. I realize that I'm partly to blame for everything that's happened, but I did want to thank you for all you did.
Oh, forget it. Being a policeman is my business.
You were very clever, Commissioner. Dick didn't fool you for a minute by pretending to be shielding me with that yacht club alibi, did he?
Well, that was pretty transparent stuff, Mrs. Barstow. He was trying to look like a loving husband so he could put the blame on you.
I know. Anyway, thanks again, Commissioner.
Goodbye, Miss Barstow.
Bye.
Attractive, isn't she, Libby?
Do you think so? Looks a little worn to me.
But she dresses smartly. You said so yourself.
Probably has nothing on her mind but clothes and men.
More coffee, Libby?
Thank you.
Libby,
Yes?
what was that type that you said could get jealous enough to kill?
A person with a mercurially adjusted personality. Why?
Oh, nothing. Except this is the first time I ever poured coffee for a young lady whose personality is mercurially adjusted. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Commissioner Bill Grant. It gives me a great deal of pleasure to present the Lever Brothers Plaque of Valor this week to Detective Sergeant Martin H. Nee of the Police Force of Greenwich, Connecticut. Detective Nee was selected by Chief Peter J. Siccardi, lifetime member of the Executive Board of the International Association of Chiefs of Police. On July the 6th, 1940, Michael Porco was found dead in his rented room in Greenwich, Connecticut. Autopsy revealed that death had been caused by a hemorrhage of the brain, a result of a severe beating. In spite of a thorough search, the only police clue revealed was a battered woman's hat. With this single clue, Detective Nee was finally able, after long and painstaking investigation, to place under arrest Mary Taraka, who purchased the hat, and her common-law husband, Robert Ryan. Ryan was later found guilty of manslaughter and sentenced to state's penitentiary. So to Detective Martin H. Nee goes $100 and this week's Lever Brothers Plaque of Valor for his unfailing effort to protect the people of your community.
June 10th, 1947, the summer replacement for Amos and Andy called the police on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, now the 1939 serial Speed Gibson of the International Secret Police, June 10th, 1939.
Gibson of the International Secret Police.
Ceiling zero. Ceiling zero. Ceiling zero. Ceiling zero.
octopus flees from Marrakesh and the secret police, but leaves a note for Clint saying that he is going into the Sahara Desert and daring him to try to find him. Before making a decision as to their next move, however, Clint, Speed, and Carlos go to the Foreign Legion barracks and visit the map room of Commandant Ricard. While pondering over the layovers on the Sahara and wondering whether to fly to the spot where the Atlantean expedition is working or proceed directly to Leopoldville, where Buchanan, chief stockholder in the syndicate, disappeared, Speed glimpses a face at the window. Thinking it might be an octopus spy, everyone makes a dash for the window while Ricard calls out his men to search the barracks.
Can you see anyone, Clint?
Nothing but legionnaires. You have a chance to see how this fellow was dressed, Speed?
Looks like an Arab. He certainly wasn't wearing a legionnaire uniform.
Then he must have been an octopus spy. Arabs or any other natives are not allowed inside the barracks without a special permit from Ricard here.
C'est vrai. But permit or no permit, how could anyone have slipped by the guard?
For all we know, the octopus gang may have a secret passage leading right into the barracks, Commandant.
What? A secret passage in my barracks? Mon Dieu, this is too much.
Well, anyhow, if there was someone hanging around who shouldn't have been, the legionnaires should sure find him, Commandant. They're searching everything.
And with no luck. From what I see from these window, Speed, our spy must have disappeared as mysteriously as he appeared.
With the knowledge of our plan.
Do you think he heard?
Why not? No telling how long he'd been listening at that window before Speed saw him.
Then what'll we do, Clint?
Everything, Speed. I've made up my mind. First, we'll fly into the Sahara, making the stops that Commodore Ricard suggested, until we find the Atlantean expedition.
Sacre bleu. You will then be flying into the very face of danger, Monsieur Barrow.
I don't think so, sir. We believe that the workers of the expedition are sincere and have no idea that they're working for a criminal organization.
Then why go there at this time, huh?
Undoubtedly, there are spies in the camp. These must contact the octopus from time to time. If one of us remains at the expedition camp, we may find a valuable clue as to his whereabouts.
One of us?
Yes, Carlos. You.
I thought so. Sooner or later, I knew I would end up in the Sahara, but I did not know I would be digging for a lost continent which is not there.
Don't you worry. I'll see that you don't have to do that sort of work, Carlos. But you will be in disguise.
Bueno. But will I be in contact with you?
I'll leave you the portable shortwave set. You'll have to keep it hidden, of course.
What'll we be doing meantime, Clint?
Flying on down to the Belgian Congo, Speed. I'm more convinced than ever that the heart of the octopus activities is located down there, hidden somewhere in the jungle.
Oh, Dieu, for a flight such as this, you must have plenty of supplies, plenty of ammunition.
We're well supplied, Commandant. And I'll depend on you for whatever we lack.
Oh, mais certainement. We go now to make ready for your flight,
Yes.
no?
And even though the octopus may know our plans, it's going to keep him busy trying to keep up.
Master!
What has kept you, Zabul? I was about to send someone back within the city walls to look for you.
By the beard of the prophet, I thought I would never look upon the secret hangar here. I barely escaped from the Legion barracks.
You mean you went there?
Yes. Kiri failed. The secret police went to the barracks with Ricard. I had to go there, else fail in my mission.
Go on.
They were all in the room containing maps. Ricard was showing them landings on the Sahara, the Legion outposts, and lastly, Kano. He said the emir there would help them.
The Emir of Kano.
Then Barlow said, perhaps it would be best to fly directly to Leopoldville.
Leopoldville. He must never get that far.
The flight across the Sahara is long and dangerous, Octopus Master.
Yes, very dangerous. Zabul, my plane and pilot are waiting. I shall fly immediately to Kano to visit the Emir there.
As the Octopus?
No. As a member of the International Secret Police.
Allah.
I have taken care to forge excellent credentials. I shall tell the Emir to be on the lookout for 3 desperate criminals who are posing as the secret police. The Emir is a just man, from what I hear. He will stop at nothing to eradicate crime.
Oh, will not Barlow and the others soon convince the emir of the truth?
Not when I have finished with him. Meantime, send out the word to the desert tribes to revolt. I want every Legion outpost on the Sahara attacked. That will keep them busy and prevent them from interfering in my affairs.
Your orders shall go out immediately, Master.
Good. I shall keep in touch with you here at the hangar by short wave. Remain here until I send for you.
I hear you and obey.
And now, I go to Kano. Barlow will find a surprising welcome if he lives to reach there.
Well, Monsieur Barlow, you have refueled and your water tanks are also full. The blocks have been pulled away from the wheels of your plane, and my mechanic is about to start your motors. I suppose there is nothing left for me to say but au revoir.
Well, I certainly want to extend our deepest appreciation for your cooperation, Commodore Ricard.
Yes.
Well, someday I hope we can repay you for what you've done.
Destroy the octopus, mon ami, and you will not only have repaid me, but the whole Foreign Legion as well. We shall do all in our power to aid you.
It's sure been swell here in Marrakesh, Commandant, seeing the Legionnaires and everything. We'll keep in touch with you by shortwave, won't we, Clint?
You bet we will.
And for all that you have done, I shall never call you Papa Ricard again, Governor.
No, sacre bleu, then it is all worth it. Del Valier, I salute you.
And I salute you.
Well, we better get started if we're to reach Colin Bashar before evening. Pile in, Speed.
Okay. So long, Commandant Ricard.
Au revoir, Speed. I hope to see you very soon.
Thanks. We'll let you know how we're getting along.
And if I have no word from you within each 48 hours, then the Legion begins to look for you, n'est-ce pas, Monsieur Barlow?
Right, Commandant. And that's a lot of reassurance to us.
See, and if they are not busy, you might send a company of legionnaires down to the Atlantean expedition just to keep me company.
Oh, très bien, Monsieur de Valier. Just let us know if you get lonely.
All right, Carlos. Let's get going.
Au revoir. Bonne chance. Bonne chance, au revoir.
Commandant.
Boy, it's hot inside the plane.
And the cooling system will remedy that as soon as we take off. I'll take her up, Speed, and then I want you to take the controls while I talk things over with Carlos.
Well.
Everything is ready for the takeoff, Pete. Safety belts fastened and off.
Then, here we go.
Look at Commandant Ricard standing in salute, and all his men are, too. Goodbye! Goodbye!
I cannot hear you, Speed.
I know, but it didn't seem right not to return that salute somehow. Gosh, they're swell fellas, the Legionnaires.
See, Speed. They have done much for Africa and will do a great deal more in the future, as long as they have such brave gentlemen as Papa Ricard to lead them.
Papa! Lucky he didn't hear you say that.
Oh, I kid him, but only because I admire him. But look, I think Clint is ready for you to take the controls, Speed.
Hey, yes, Speed. Climb another 1,000 feet and then level off. I've marked your course here. I'll be back before you get in any difficulties.
I won't, Clint. Unless we run into a sandstorm.
I don't think that's likely from the look of things. Now, come on, Carlos. Let's get back to the cabin and study these maps more carefully. Speed! Hey, Carlos.
Yeah, Clint. You see that swell sunset?
Yes, and something more. Colin Bashar is just ahead.
Yeah, that is so. And look, they are hauling down the colors. It seems we arrive either at dawn or dusk.
Well, I'll be glad we got here before dark anyhow. They might have been suspicious if we dropped out of the sky at night without any warning.
I doubt it, Speed. Few aviators tackle the Sahara route, except the Legion flyers. Say, that looks like a pretty good landing field.
Good. After all those sand dunes I've been looking at, it appears to be as level as a table.
Yeah, we'll soon find out, because I'm going to sit down now.
The whole post is out to look us over. Look at them standing at attention down there.
Oh, that is because of the flag, not us, Speed. No doubt they are most curious, though. This plane is much larger than the ones they're used to seeing.
Wonder if they ever get lonesome out here on the desert.
Oh, they have a great deal to keep them busy, Speed. But I suppose they long for home once in a while. However, most of the Legionnaires are adventurers at heart. This is the life they like, or they would not be here.
We're going to land. Everybody ready?
All set, Clint. Look, here comes some Legionnaires to meet us.
With their captain at their head, if I'm not mistaken.
We better pile out and declare ourselves then. Get along now.
Wow, it's hotter outside than it is inside our plane.
Okay.
Here comes the captain.
Monsieur.
Oh, good evening. My name's Barlow of the International Secret Police.
Barlow of the Secret Police? At your service, monsieur. I am Captain Andre.
Thank you. This is Carlos Del Valle, and this is Speed Gibson.
Pleased to meet you,
Captain.
Commandant Ricard said that your post would cooperate with us. I have a letter for you from him.
Oh, but of course. Colin Bashar welcomes you, Monsieur Barlow. Let us go inside, where we can refresh ourselves while we discuss your needs. No?
You're very kind, sir. We'll ask little of you, Captain, but we do want to give you a warning. The criminal, the octopus, is at large here in Africa, and we strongly suspect that he's near this post. I recommend that your men be on the lookout for any strangers that may come this way.
So, and you. I have heard of this octopus.
but never dreamed he would come to the Sahara. It is barren ground for such a one as the octopus.
Not as barren as you may think. Let's go to your quarters, and we'll tell you as much of the setup as is necessary.
Oh.
At ease.
Boy, oh boy, Captain Andre. Columbus Shaw looks like the kind of a Legion post I've read about.
Is that so, young man?
Yeah, only it looks real peaceful. Do you have much trouble with native attacks?
Not anymore, Speed. Particularly here at Columbus Shaw. We are too close to Marrakesh, you see, and speedy reinforcements. What is that? Sounds like an attack. Oh, but that is not possible.
It is, Captain.
Oui. Hold on! Hold on!
Is there really a native attack,
Yes,
Captain?
Speed. But it is most unusual.
Not for the octopus around. Come on, let's do our share.
Some of radio's greats in this: Howard McNear, Gail Gordon as the octopus, and Elliot Lewis. Many of them. Speed Gibson of the International Secret Police from June 10th, 1939, here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Thank you so much for making us a part of your day. Our webpage is classicradio.stream. Classicradio.stream. Stream our shows. Learn about building a classic radio collection of your own. You can contact me, find our social media links, and of course, if you're so inclined, you can buy me a copy. A number of people have done that in the past little bit here, and it helps us acquire additional classic radio collections and helps us maintain our social media links and maintain our distribution channels. That's classicradio.stream. Classicradio.stream. Have yourself a great day. Tell all your friends the greatest radio shows of all time are right here at this spot on the dial. Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox on your favorite radio station.